You good, Rocky? Rocky over here chilling. Look at Rocky. Hey, Rocky, tell everybody you good? You good, baby boy? You about to be asleep. Well, come on in here. Come on in here. I'm gonna talk about. I want to talk about like what they was talking about. I was watching a clip from that jive ass show, Gil's Arena. I mean, if you want to lose some brain cells, oh my god. But it's a lot of passion, and the thing is, I like every dude on that show. You know what I mean? As far as like, I was a fan of all of them games. There was like not one player on that show that when they were playing I disliked. But we listened to that podcast. It just, oh my god, the some of the discussions and the questions that they ask, it's like, dude. But anyway, they had a discussion on if you replace Kobe with T Mac. And I was just like, why are we even having that discussion? You know what I mean? Dwyane Wade lately, he's been talking shit. He said Dwyane Wade said that Pau Gasol was the MVP of the 2010 finals. I was there at those games in person. I was there game 6 and 7 on the sitting on the 15th row. No, that's not true. And then you got people like Jim Jones. Jim Jones is gone in the last week or two. He's going on like a Nas clout chasing tour. And so that's the gist of what want to talk about tonight. Like, I said on my last show about Nas. Certain people do certain works of art. Certain people have certain works of art that are just leave it alone. You know, whether you like them or not, just leave it alone. And we as Black Americans have so many gods in different areas. What we tend to do is tear one down to make the other one better. And that's the pushback like a lot of bronzexuals get, because it's another thing is we have some genuine grassroots legends. And they're not grassroots, they earned their legend off what they did. And you have other people that are like media manufactured. And usually you can identify a media manufactured legend when they always put them next to a certified legend. One of the 48 laws of power. And it always requires you to lift these people who are good in their own right, but it generally requires you to tear down the person that authentically earned their stripes. And appreciate that, Tanya. And this is the thing that I want to talk about tonight. And we got so many gods, so many. That's why, like, I'm doing my top 75 R&B singers. But when I do my top 75, I'm gonna make it clear when I do that show on Patreon that the difference between 1 and 20 is minuscule. It's not even measurable almost. Because we have plateaus of greatness. And so let's break that down. But before I break that down, what's up, everybody? Mr. Jesse Paris, Godspeed, Cash, Slim, 80 Choice. Everybody up in here. I can't get to everybody, but welcome. Wet Red 6. Everybody that's up in here, welcome. Let me see. Manosphere Hall of Fame. Let me go ahead and put this participant mode, subscribers only. There we go. Oh shit, this is my song right here. I love this song right here. Spirit. That song was written. That song was that was the last song arranged by Charles Stepney before he died and had a heart attack while Earth and Fire was in the midst of the Spirit album. So he wrote that song Spirit. And that's, if you look on this picture right here, that's Charles Stepney right there. The man that's really responsible for putting Earth and Fire sound together. Maurice White, band leader. Larry Dunn. Fred. Verdine White. I don't know who that is. That's not Fred. That's Fred the drummer right there. That's what's his name? Ralph. Philip Bailey. Yeah. Anyway, I digress. And Philip Bailey and Larry Dunn are both from Denver. And Larry Dunn is really the nucleus of the Earth and the Fire sound. When you hear that, those chords, those riveting chords, that's all Larry Dunn. Didn't get his proper credit with the group. But anyway, let's break it down. So the thing is, let's start off with the Kobe T-Mac thing. See, there's an agenda behind break. I think the longer time goes by, the more I believe Kobe was killed. I wish Dick Gregory was alive when that happened. I wish Dick Gregory was alive. But when I look at Kobe, the longer I think about it, that's just my opinion. I don't know. That's just my opinion. I've driven by the hill where he died on. Shit, probably 100 times since he died. I'll be over in that area in Calabasas, and it doesn't make sense for an experienced helicopter pilot to crash there because it's really not that high of a peak. You guys drive it going down a 101 across Las Virgenes. You'll look and be like, that's where that was the mountain? It's really not that high. But I digress. But they see what Kobe is. The thing about Kobe is this. That Mob Tukey 904, you on point. He's going to be a good film producer. And what kind of films was Kobe going to produce? Mamba mentality style films. Films that deal with confronting and see, Kobe was an archetype that they tried to kill off. Kobe and Iverson and they tried to play Kobe against Iverson. That just didn't work too well, especially after Colorado. But 2001, 2099, 96, they were playing Kobe against Iverson. But Kobe ended up being more of the alpha male than they bargained for, and they took him out. Because the archetype of the male of the 90s, the black male, Jordan, that whole archetype was you win regardless. You don't make excuses. And if you got to walk out there with your fucking finger dangling, like Ronnie Lott with the San Francisco 49ers back in the 80s, cut my fucking finger off and let's get the job done. That's a particular style of black man that existed for a long time. And I think Kobe in sports represented the zenith of that. You're talking about somebody who tore his Achilles and walked out and hit 2 free throws and walked away, tearing his Achilles. Won a championship with a finger that was with a broken ring finger. People don't even know when he won 2009 championship, finger was broken. What Kobe did physically, and also the combination of that ancient Indian knowledge that Phil Jackson laid on him. If you listen to Kobe's interviews, most of it's talking about meditation, focus, willpower. It's almost as if basketball was just a tool for a greater philosophy. If you got to really go back and listen, and go back and remember when he played, all they did was shit on him. The whole time he played, he's not Jordan. He's not Jordan. He's not Jordan. He's not Jordan. Let's not focus on what he is. Let's focus on him not being Jordan. You know, selfish. They came up with this whole phrase called hero ball. Like, don't be a hero ball. That was a jab at Kobe. We talking 2008, 2009 in the NBA marketing. What Kobe could do for you is greater than really any other athlete, more so than Michael. I would say the only person that was touching Kobe as far as mentality was Bruce Lee and Muhammad Ali, as far as the mentality part. Jordan had it. Jordan just didn't talk as much about it. Jordan was very quiet. Jordan most definitely had it. But Kobe was a greater orator of it, if you know what I mean. He was a three of clubs. Three of clubs is the card of the writer. Kobe understood how to communicate this thing. It's not taken away from Jordan. Kobe was just a better communicator at this thing. So Kobe, like Bruce Lee, like Muhammad Ali, they taught these philosophies that expanded beyond their sport, their physical capabilities. They showed us the physical display of what an in-tune mind. Muhammad Ali taught us to see it, to know it before you are it. Muhammad Ali said, I was great before I knew I was great. And they silenced Muhammad. They didn't kill Muhammad Ali, but they for damn sure silenced him. So he couldn't spend the last 30 years of his life teaching us this. But when he could talk and rap, he showed us what to do with it here. Manosphere Hall of Fame, no. Even Rasheed Wallace and Paul Pierce said there was no referee nothing in Game 7 in 2010 against the Celtics. The Celtics just lost that game. And Paul Pierce is one of the biggest haters you're going to find. But even Paul Pierce said there was no ref nothing with that game. They just lost. Rasheed Wallace said that too. You had two people on the Celtics that were just like, yeah, nah. We just lost that game. Just go ahead and just take it. Just take it. Just take it. Well, anyway, Kobe had that situation in Colorado. And recently there was a writer that said that the writers basically kept 3 additional. Kobe should have been a 4-time MVP is what he said. He said because there were 3 MVPs we all knew it was like a unwritten rule amongst the writers not to reward Kobe after Colorado. That's what one of the writers said. Kobe should have been a 4-time MVP. But as we all know, well, as people who understand basketball know, the MVP is a political award. It ain't got shit to do with what happens on the court. That's a political award. But Kobe, when he transitioned from basketball, He was going into storytelling. And go back and watch the, I'm drawing a blank to it, but his short film, the one that won an Oscar. Kobe was about to be, and since Kobe was sort of whitewashed in a lot of ways, he was going to tell these stories not from a black perspective, but from an everybody come together perspective, which is the last thing they want is a storyteller with that kind of message, with that kind of effect on people. So Kobe was really the last great two-way competitor in the NBA. You had a lot of that, but you haven't had a two-way competitor like that since Kobe. People took for granted that he was chasing Jordan. People took for granted that Kobe worked 4 workouts a day to be better than Jordan. That got taken for granted. And the media oftentimes, even while it was happening, they downplayed it. They downplayed it. Oh, he's just... The last time Kobe, if you know basketball, Kobe stopped imitating Jordan by the end of his 3rd season. Like, you want to see Kobe be like Jordan? Yeah. When he was 17, yeah. 18, 19, yeah. But by the time Kobe got to 21, his footwork and his moves, he started to add more to the game that went beyond what Jordan was doing, especially as far as his footwork goes. Somebody said so competitive he blew a 3-1 lead to Phoenix. Who? Kobe blew a 3-1 lead? Or the Lakers were up 3-1 against a team they had no business being up 3-1 against? You stupid motherfucker. Go look up Smush Parker. Go look up Vladimir Radmanovich. Go look up the teammates that he had, Lamar Odom, and look at how sorry that team was. And you ask yourself, first off, how did this team make the playoffs? Second, how in the hell did they win one game against the MVP? And if you saw that goddamn series, if Lamar Odom just gets that rebound with 37 seconds left in the game and don't give it to, and Tim Thomas not get the rebound in game 6, the Lakers would have won in 6. But Lamar Odom missed a crucial rebound that Sean Marion got, kicked it to Tim Thomas, and that's why they lost game 6. It's a team game, you dumb motherfucker. Yeah, reigns supreme, Luke Walton. Anybody who understands basketball knows that, nigga, I'm glad the Lakers made it game 7. Shit, like, that's further than we expected them to go. But you ask yourself, how in the hell did he beat the Boston Celtics when the Boston Celtics had 3 Hall of Famers that was his contemporaries on the same team? Kevin Garnett, Kobe's contemporary. Paul Pierce, Kobe's contemporary. Ray Allen, Kobe's contemporary, drafted in the same draft. Drafted 94, 95, 96, and 97 on the same team. And he beat them niggas. That team wasn't shit. No, Kobe did not miss a playoff 2 straight years in his prime, you stupid fuck. See, that's the thing. You always get these dumbasses that you trying to tell a bigger story, and everybody that talks shit about Kobe be wrong. No, he did not miss the playoffs 2 straight years. He missed the playoffs 1 year, and he missed 25 games that season, you dumb fuck. But at the Christmas game before he got hurt, the Lakers were the number 1, 2 seed that season. And then their coach, Rudy Tomjanovich, had to quit at the Christmas game because he had bladder cancer. When they had their coach and Kobe, they were the number 1, 2 seed in the West with Vladimir Radmanovich and Chris Mim at center. You stupid fuck. God damn. Kobe never missed the playoffs with Bynum or Odom. Well, Bynum and Odom. The year they missed the playoffs, that was the year they got the draft Bynum. And Bynum didn't even play his first 2 years. You dummy. Oh, he had a player that couldn't even get off the bench. Stupid fuck. Oh, he had Lamar Odom, the guy who never made an all-star team. Because he had all the talent in the world, but couldn't put together 2 straight good games. Lamar Odom couldn't put together 2 straight good games. His whole goddamn career. That's why he never made an all-star team. Had all the talent in the world. Lamar Odom should have been a 10-time all-star. But he never made it because he couldn't put together 2 straight good games. You fucking stupid fuck. Now shut up and listen. Now back to what we talking about. I'm sorry, everybody else. Yeah, they blocked it. They blocked the Chris Paul trade. Kobe could have been a 7-time champion if they didn't block that trade. But blocking that trade was part of the deal. They created a fantasy that Jordan is the greatest and LeBron was next. I say fantasy. If you believe Jordan was the greatest, I am not going to argue with you. But you can always, Kareem, Magic, it's a lot of people you could put up there. This whole one guy that's all media propaganda and marketing. And if you say Kobe's not the greatest, I don't give a fuck. But there was a whole storyline that went on that they had to kill off. So they killed the storyline off. Kobe dies tragically. Now, 5 years later, they didn't want Kobe to surpass Jordan. They didn't want that. They spent Jordan is way too valuable for the league. You see how Jordan is coming back as an announcer next year. That's billions of dollars right there in shoes and marketing. They spent way too long crafting that Jordan image for some nigga to come right along behind him and outdo him. That wasn't happening. So they did that because all this sports shit, the NBA stuff is just narrative, right? Now, in order to bury him deeper, they're getting contemporaries who had nothing but good things to say about him when he was alive. Dwyane Wade, Tracy McGrady, Gilbert Arenas. And I look at this kind of sick because anybody who knew Kobe, and I didn't know him personally, I do know a couple people who did know him pretty well. Anybody who know him or know of him outside of media, these people wouldn't be talking like this if he were alive. Yeah, Kobe shoes is dominating. Yeah, look at the league now. The league when Kobe played, they shitted on him. Look in the chat now. You got people that still want to shit on Kobe for striving to be better than who we deem as the greatest. Don't you want your greats to strive to be greater than who's great without disrespecting them? Kobe never one time disrespected Michael Jordan. You can't find one thing he said disrespectful. When the Lakers beat the Indiana Pacers in the 2000 finals, Kobe was wearing jerseys of different athletes all the way up before that. He would wear like a Joe Montana jersey. He would wear a Magic jersey. And then the game before they won a championship, he wore a Jordan jersey, just showing his respect for all the greats. And it was Shaq that told Kobe to take that jersey off. Kobe also showed nothing but... That's what we want, people. What's up, Willie Beeman? We want our players. Somebody said Kobe stitched on Shaq. Stop all that talking, nigga. You rehearse off you wasn't there. Second of all, you probably snitch on your coworker if he clock in 5 minutes late. Everybody get real gangster. Kobe snitched on Shaq. Hey, shut up. You probably be trying to holler at your homeboy's girlfriend when he go to the bathroom, nigga. Sit your fake moral ass down. Oh, he snitched on Shaq. Nigga, shut up. I don't even know that shit to be fact. That's just some shit they been saying forever. And even if he did, nigga, you let Donovan come in 10 minutes late from lunchtime at work. You're gonna be the first one. Hey, Mr. Manager, hey, Mr. Bartholomew, Donovan came in 10 minutes late again. This is third time this week. Shut up. Talking basketball. Here come these petty ass niggas. Oh, what's up, Jason? That's my man Jason right there. Me, Jason. Y'all see Jason Timms in the chat. Me, Jason, and our other boy Reggie, our first year in college, we was at Salamanca College, and these niggas that had me late to class arguing who's better, Kobe or Vince Carter. Y'all remember in 2000 that was like a for real legit argument who was better, Kobe or Vince Carter? Nigga, Jason, you nigga, you may be late to class too many times. And so Kobe was a person that when he was here, he left a lot of great life and game philosophy. But a lot of you hoe ass niggas in the chat, oh, he wasn't God. Who the fuck said he God, you stupid fuck? What we saying is, if you go back and listen to the philosophies that he talked about off the court, that he applied on the court, these are philosophies that you can use in whatever you do. You can, if you're a plumber, you can apply Kobe's philosophy that he talked about as far as the Mamba mentality. If you're a filmmaker, if you're a plumber, if you're an engineer, if you're a preacher at church, whatever it is you do, that's what I've always liked most about like a lot of the, if you go back and watch a lot of the Kobe interviews and listen to him talk, he talked about basketball, but the message was far bigger than basketball. Basketball was just the medium used to tell a larger message. And the thing is, most of you niggas miss the message. One, because you stupid as fuck. Two, because a lot of you niggas is dick riders. And I'm not talking to everybody, but if that kind of stung, I'm talking to you. Again, I'm not talking about everybody, but if that hit you funny and you kind of offended, then yes, you're the person I'm talking about. The mentality was a great application that they wanted silenced. Put the work in. Whatever you do, if you work harder than the next, you can do it. My boy Rasheed Hazard was an assistant coach of the Lakers in 2000 during that championship run, that second championship run. He was Rasheed. During the season, we didn't see Rasheed. We had to wait till the off season to see Rasheed. We may see him All-Star Weekend because during the season he was always with Kobe. Kobe, 4:30 in the morning, workout. She show up at 4 o'clock trying to beat Kobe at the gym. Kobe's already there doing plyometrics and footwork drills and defensive slides. And she would have to be with Kobe from 4 to 8 every morning, damn near. And then back out there from 11 to 2. And then Kobe back to working out 4 to 7. And then the last workout of the night, 9 to 11. Like, I mean, this would be. I remember one time when the Lakers lost to the Celtics in Boston. I'm gonna tell y'all a story real quick. Lakers lose to the Celtics in Boston, game 6. Kobe goes down to the bar. Kobe goes down to the bar. The hotel says the bar is closed. And Kobe's like, what the fuck you mean the bar is closed? So Kobe calls the right people, and they get the bar to open back up. So what Kobe does is, when he goes back down to the bar, he bought the whole bar. And my man, she comes down, and he calls him, and he drinks with Kobe that night. They get loaded. And he and Kobe talked about, things that he was disappointed in, what they need to do to work better. So after they done drinking, Kobe gets the assistants of the Lakers to wrap up all the liquor because he's like, man, I bought the bar. I ain't leaving this shit here. So they shrink wrap all of the alcohol, put it on pallets, and it goes on a team flight back to L.A. Kobe had those pallets of liquor in his basement at his house in Orange County, and he would go all summer. He would go down there and look at that bottle of liquor, those bottles, to remember how he felt when he lost, and as motivation in his workouts. And so he did that. Fast forward to the following year, 2009, the Lakers beat the Orlando Magic in the finals. Lakers win, they get back to LA. She gets a call from Kobe because they had like a day or two between going on vacation. So before Kobe goes on vacation, he calls she and starts his workouts based on film study because he knows Boston's coming back the following year. This dude, after he beat the the Orlando Magic, started studying film on the Celtics and got 4 workouts in the day before his vacation, 2 days after winning the finals. So it was that level of application that went into the stories that were about to be written. And everybody at that time in the NBA knew these things were happening. But ESPN and NBA media had one hell of a campaign against that. The only thing they talk about is, oh, nobody wants to play with him, this and that and that. They constantly tear him down. The same way they constantly tear down any black person that's doing with action something and teaching that action. Not just doing it, but doing it and they have a good ability to teach it to the next. And so that's what we're dealing with here. And so in death, you got players like Dwyane Wade, Tracy McGrady, people who never in a million years would say none of the shit to that man's face. That's why I salute Matt Barnes for stepping up and saying something, Y'all wouldn't, not only would you not said this to his face, nigga, you wouldn't have said the shit on ESPN if Kobe was in Australia. You still wouldn't have said it. Yeah, Mayweather also had struggled. Kobe, Floyd Mayweather, Jerry Rice, Walter Payton, these are the guys highest level of workout. You feel like Jerry Rice, man. Barry Bonds. They always say Jerry Rice, Barry Bonds for baseball, Kobe, Floyd Mayweather. I was in a club with Floyd. I wasn't with Floyd. The people I was with had bottle service next to the table. Floyd's people had bottle service. They made that very clear. I wasn't with Floyd. But this was All-Star Weekend. I think it was Vegas. Vegas All-Star Weekend. The people I was with had bottle service next to Floyd. And I just remember Floyd leaving the club, and the people next to me was talking. They were like, "Where'd Floyd go?" And we talking like 1 in the morning. They said, "Oh, he went to go run. He went to go run 5 miles. And he'll be back." They said he went to go run 5 miles. He'll be back. This dude Floyd like left the club and ran like 5 miles and came back. That was my one experience like around Floyd. I was like, damn. Nigga left the club to run. This nigga Rocky loves scratching his nuts. Look at him. This nigga's licking his paws and scratching his nuts. Man, Rocky, you stay scratching your nuts, homie. You done scratching your nuts? Huh? All right, cool. This nigga loves scratching his nuts. Come on, baby boy. But it's this whole thing, going back to the title of what we're talking about here, this culture of tearing down the greats. Oh no, he back at it. He back at it. He back at it. He look at you like, yeah, what you looking at? I'm gonna scratch my nuts. What the fuck you gonna do about it? Rocky like, man, this shit feel good. Usually I got my ass to the camera. This nigga right here like, I don't give a fuck what none of y'all. I don't give a fuck what none of y'all say. I'm gonna scratch my nuts. This nigga scratching his nuts like he pay bills around here. This nigga's literally sitting up scratching his balls like he pay bills. Rocky, you don't pay no goddamn bills. This nigga said, I'm gonna sit up and scratch my dick like I pay the bills around here. What's up, DSB? Lowest supporter for 6 months. I appreciate that. This nigga, but y'all see how he gotta sit up and do it though? Nigga got his back on the couch. Hey, Jason, sit your ass down. Hey, Jason, you know what we were saying. Look, as much as I love Kobe, that song he did with Tyra Banks was trash. I hated that song. See, unlike you dick riding ass bronsexuals, I could easily be critical of my favorite athlete. That music that Kobe did with Tyra Banks was premium grade A trash. All right, I love Kobe. His movie was great. Muse was great, nigga. But that album, that song he did with Tyra Banks, I'm like, people got mad because y'all know Kobe and Allen Iverson both did rap albums that David Stern stamped out. Like I heard that Iverson's was pretty good, but David Stern was like, yeah, nah, we ain't letting y'all release that shit. And for that, I say thank you, David Stern, because you saved Kobe from himself. You saved Kobe from himself when you said, no, you can't release that album. That shit was garbage. Rest in peace, Bean. But just because you can afford to do an album and you like music, don't mean you should do an album. Yeah, that nigga David Stern said, "You no rap albums and put on this suit, nigga." It was a very racist move that Stern did with the whole situation. But hey, that saved the travesty. But that's true, man. It's Fear Hall of Fame. Blacks tear down other blacks because of low self-esteem. Yeah, low self-esteem and propaganda. It's like the media always has pits are greats, and not just white media, black media too. Look at Vibe magazine, East versus West. So I'm not over here saying that black media don't do it. I'm not saying that at all, but the media that we have does that. Oh, Shaq's a way better rapper than Kobe. It's not close. But this whole thing, like the top five argument in rap, the GOAT argument in basketball, the top five argument in rap, it's just, or the GOAT debate in rap. Anytime you're dealing with a GOAT debate, you have to tear somebody else down that don't deserve to be torn down. Anytime you have a GOAT debate, you have to tear down somebody who don't deserve to be torn down. And on top of that, you got different styles. You're like, who's greater depends on your style and what you like. Because it's like saying, what's the greatest Avenger? What's the greatest X-Man? What's the greatest? The point is, they're all great, but they have different styles. Storm dealt with the wind in the air, and Cyclops had vision. Wolverine had them claws. And on top of that, basketball is a team sport, 5 positions. So what? Somebody's the greatest. If you don't have at least 2 shooters on the court, it don't fucking matter how great they are. Without shooters in the corner to create floor space, you can have Jordan, you can have Durant, you can have Kobe, you can have LeBron, you can have whoever it is you want, Shaq. Without shooting to create floor space to open up driving and passing lanes, don't matter how great your grade is. The point is people are great at different things. And you need to learn how, and this is all about fusing that greatness. Same thing with music. You be the greatest guitar player, but if your drummer don't know how to keep time, it won't matter. You can be the greatest singer, but if your keyboard player don't know what key to put you in, you fucked. Life is communal, man. Sports, music, you can have the greatest MC of all time. It won't matter that they're the greatest MC of all time if the production is terrible. Everything needs different levels of greatness and chemistry of greatness to thrive and be a great thing. That's everything. I'm about to roll this. I'm right here still. I have reefer to roll. But y'all see what I'm talking about. Y'all see what I'm talking about, chat? They get you to fight over this person's greatness, this black person's greatness, over that person's greatness. And you see like online, you see all the time like on Facebook or in Twitter. Y'all chat room. Person number one, you see that one must go. Very popular on Facebook. Very popular on Facebook. Very popular on Instagram. They'll have like 4 or 5 great people or 4 great people, 4 great movies. One must go. 4 great athletes. One must go. 4 great singers. One must go. Yeah, y'all see that on your social media? Mount Rushmores. The nigga said Canada has proved my point about production. Yeah. It's all about, like, it's a lot of factors that go into it. What made Jordan great was the fact that Scottie Pippen was every bit as good as the person that sets the offense and defender. Scottie Pippen was as great at his role as Jordan was at his role. And you needed them both. But we live in a world that minimizes Scottie Pippen instead of understanding the lesson that without Scottie Pippen, you can't have Jordan. I don't know why people can't see that. They'll talk all kind of shit about Scottie Pippen and call Jordan the god of all without understanding you need Scottie Pippen to have Jordan. Dominique Wilkins, his name fades away as time goes on because Dominique Wilkins didn't have a Scottie Pippen. Dominique Wilkins didn't have a Scottie Pippen. So because Dominique Wilkins didn't have a Scottie Pippen, he had a Doc Rivers instead. His name fades away. Charles Barkley, Patrick Ewing, Reggie Miller, these guys never had Scottie Pippens. Hakeem Olajuwon's level of greatness was equally as great as Michael Jordan's. But that concept will go over a lot of you niggas' heads. Hakeem Olajuwon and what he did, people don't even understand that. Hakeem Olajuwon was helping beat the Lakers when the Lakers had Kareem. When he had a squad with Ralph Sampson, Hakeem Olajuwon was as great at what he did as Jordan was at what he did. Olajuwon was as great of a center as Jordan was a shooting guard. You need a team. And you need to know how to work with others. And the lesson of the story when it comes to sports, when it comes to music, is to play your role. Play your role. Like Rocky over here still playing the role of the dick scratcher. You back at it, Rocky? I'm over here trying to roll my weed. I look out the corner of my eye, this nigga Rocky over here like, yeah, I got some nuts to scratch. You good, Rocky? Rocky like, man, leave me the fuck alone. Rocky like, leave me the fuck alone. You need me to spray down there? Look at him. Yeah, you don't like that spray, huh? Yeah, as soon as I said that, as soon as I mentioned that spray, that nigga looked up. I'm gonna spray your balls, homie, so you stop scratching. He looked at me like, nah. Yeah, Rocky rude over here. This nigga like, oh man. Rocky, you're uncouth, homie. You uncouth. You're uncouth, Rocky. Rocky looked at me like, I don't give a fuck. this, Rocky. That's uncouth, brother. You gotta scratch your nuts in private, bro. You can't be scratching your nuts on the internet, Rocky. That nigga said puffy type. Hey, leave my dog alone. That nigga said puffy style. Hey, man. Hey, that's fucked up, dog. That was funny. Yeah. That nigga said, Rashad said he been humping the wrong chick. Oh, shit. Anyway, the lesson, he said, look who's burning. The lesson from music is the same as the lesson for sports. It's the same lesson. And that lesson is to be the best you can be at your role. And no role is greater than the other. They're all necessary. Dennis Rodman was as great at his role as Michael Jordan was at his, as Scottie Pippen was at his. That concept tends to fuck with a lot of people, and it shouldn't. You needed Dennis Rodman. You needed Horace Grant. Horace Grant, especially that first 3 championship run, Horace Grant was as good of a small forward, power forward, as Pippen was a small forward. Rebound, hit the open shot, defend, get scrap points off the dump down, off the pick and pop, off the rebound. You need that. You need your shooters in the corner. In music, the drummer and the bass player are a lot like the power forward in the center. It's the grounding. It's what, even if your center don't score, you need your center to defend the paint and the rebound. The drums and the bass are the earth. They very rarely get the credit. But there's no way in hell your singer can sound good, can dance on beat, dance in time, without a great drummer and bass and keyboard player and band. Go back to that Jackson 5 movie. Y'all remember that Jackson 5 movie when they were like, you know, they're about to do the talent show, and one of the, I think it was Jackie, one of the Jacksons, Jermaine, somebody said, hey, let's just have Michael let's do a James Brown song. And let's have Michael do all of James Brown's dances. What did Joe Jackson say in that movie at that point? He said, yeah, Michael can do James Brown's dances, but we don't have James Brown's band. Think about that, was a real profound line in that movie. We have a lead that could do all these great things, but if the band ain't on this level, it's no good. And I had to spray Rocky's nuts with some of this shit. He looking at me like, nigga? Rocky looking at me like, come on, man. But Yeah, Manosphere Hall of Fame. Without Rodman, Utah wins back to back. See what Rodman does. Rodman ensured that Utah only got one possession. The biggest killer of a defense is offensive rebounds. The thing that made the 2016 Cavs beat the 2016 Warriors, go back and watch those games and watch Tristan Thompson's rebounding performance, especially once Andrew Bogut got hurt after game 3 and you didn't have that big 7-footer to deal with. Tristan Thompson set some of the best screens I've ever seen in my life, and he got every single rebound. Golden State was having to collapse 2 and 3 people to get a rebound, because if they didn't, Tristan was going to get it and give another possession to Cleveland. Cleveland got so many possessions off Tristan Thompson's offensive rebounding and defensive rebounding. Same thing with Rodman. That when you control the rebounds, that dictates everything else. But the layman, they're going to take those rebounds for granted. Rodman got everything, and defensively, he was the only player in 98, 97. Rodman is literally the only player in the NBA that can guard Karl Malone one-on-one. If you literally have any other power forward in the game, even Horace Grant, you're going to have to double team. You're going to have to send that double team to guard Malone. It's the reason why Malone retired with more points than Michael Jordan. You couldn't stop that motherfucker. Rodman is literally the only player in the NBA that could. The point is, greatness comes in many forms. That's the point. That's the point of what we're talking about. I'm still here, about to make myself a drink. I ain't going nowhere, Rocky. You can stay there. Greatness comes in many forms, multiple forms. And one greatness, just because it doesn't get as many points, or it doesn't get the same amount of shine as the lead singer or the guitar player, it doesn't mean it's any less great. And that's what they do. They trick us into having these arguments that are much ado about nothing, because we all got something to learn from all the different levels of greatness. You know what I mean? And all of us have different levels of greatness inside of us. And the reason why people are insecure, the reason why people hate on other people, is because, one, they don't recognize their own greatness. And then two, when people do recognize, if you're lucky enough to recognize your greatness, or if or you're not lucky enough, if you're taking the time to find it, those who have found where their greatness lies, they argue with it and compare it to other people's greatness. Oh, it doesn't look this way. It doesn't look that way, so it must not be great. They got us all focused on Michael Jordan being the greatest and having us fight over, okay, it's not Kareem. Well, why would you ever argue Michael Jordan versus Kareem when they do completely different things? And both things are very necessary to win. And who's greater depends on the philosophy you're going to use. A person like me, the way when I used to coach basketball, I find it easier to coach with a dominant center. For me, it's easier to draw up plays to get my center going than it is for me to get my shooting guard going. So, I mean, philosophically. So, personally, as a coach, I would pick Kareem before I pick Jordan. And that shouldn't offend anybody. One. Two, there's another coach out there that's going to find, for them, creating space and designing plays for Michael Jordan is going to be the easier job. For the next person, see, if I were going to design a team, the first two players I would go with, even though Kobe's my favorite player of all time, the person that I like the most because I saw him play the most. When it comes to coaching, I would pick Kareem or Magic before I picked up a Kobe. Only because I know how to really design plays for point guards. I know how to really design plays for centers. It's harder for me personally to design plays for wing players. So that would literally be the only reason why I would take a Kareem or a Magic over Kobe if I'm picking a team. Because if I'm designing plays, it's easier for me to design plays out of the point guard position or the center position. The whole point. Where you at, Rocky? Oh, Rocky over there. Rocky got tired of me putting him on camera scratching his dick, so he went and sat on over there like, man, fuck that shit. You don't want to sit next to me no more, Rocky? Rocky mad from me showing the world him scrubbing his dick. This nigga said, Black Cholo said, they all bussy all-stars. Come on, dog. Rings do matter. It's just that rings aren't the only thing that matter. If you're going to have a rings argument, you got to be smart about it. One, Bill Russell during the time, you got to look at who they played against, people. The whole rings argument, I'll take a rings argument, but you got to know how to make it relevant. That's why I don't talk stats with people, because stats have to be weighed through logic. And when stats are weighed, then you can apply them. Bill Russell played at the time. Bill Russell's team had 7 Hall of Famers. Like, literally, Bill Russell played with 7 Hall of Famers. Jerry West had him and Elgin Baylor. That's 2. Then later on, they got Wilt, 3. But you're still playing against 7. But I give Bill Russell the credit from the fact that although he had those 7 Hall of Famers, he still won. LeBron basically played with the last 2 Olympic teams on his team. And it's LeBron's level of inefficiency with that level of great teams. And the only argument for you niggas is to berate the team. Instead of just saying, no, you had more opportunities because you had this many great teams, and that's what you did with it. Bill Russell had them great teams, but he actually won with them. You know, one thing that works against Wilt is as great as Wilt was with his numbers and everything. Wilt, according to people like Bill Russell and Wes Unseld, they would say you could talk him out of his game. Mentally, he was like a nice guy. And if you were hurt or something like that, he would take it easy on you. And so Wilt losing to Willis Reed, that was some bullshit. You should have won that. And going back to who you playing against. Yes, Magic had Hall of Famers, but look at who Magic had to beat. People see Magic gets the unfair treatment. First thing they say is, oh, he had Kareem. Dude, do you know that Kareem tried to retire in 1985? That's how old Kareem was. If it weren't for Kareem's taxes and his house burning down, he would have retired after the 85 championship. They gave him a whole going away party and everything. He had to come back because of his taxes. Kareem was old. He couldn't run the floor with Magic anymore. Magic didn't have 1976 Kareem. Magic didn't have 1975 Kareem that could run like the wind. Kareem was old most of Magic's career. That's number one. Two, look at who he was playing against. Magic won his first championship against Dr. J. Do you guys understand that Dr. J was the Michael Jordan of his generation? Dr. J was the best player in the NBA. Dr. J wasn't some old bum that came on the sideline that barely made it. He was the preeminent player, and Magic beat him as a rookie. You're right, Magic didn't have Afro Kareem. If Magic had Afro Kareem, he would have gone 10-10. I remember Kareem would be on defense, he would defend, Magic or Worthy get the rebound, and they gone. Kareem didn't cross half court half the game because he couldn't. He was old. You're right. Julius Erving was the MVP the following season, 81. Magic played against the best player in the league and beat him as a rookie without Kareem. That's number one. Two, look at the other teams. Look at who Magic lost to. Magic lost to the 83 76ers. The 83 76ers had 4 Hall of Famers too. Moses Malone had just won the MVP in 1982, the year prior with the Houston Rockets. Moses Malone used to kick Kareem's ass. Moses Malone was Kareem's kryptonite. If you watch basketball in the 80s, you know as great as Kareem was, when he played against Moses Malone, he probably wasn't going to win that night. That was very clear. When Magic played against Moses Malone, with Kareem, the Philadelphia 76ers had Dr. J, Bobby Jones, Andrew Toney, Maurice Cheeks, and Moses Malone. I think Maurice Cheeks just made the Hall of Fame. Chat room, check me. Did Maurice Cheeks make the Hall of Fame yet? But they had 4 Hall of Famers. So, of course, Magic needed Hall of Famers to beat 4 Hall of Famers. Yes. Magic wasn't playing against the 2019 Milwaukee Bucks. Okay? Look at who else Magic had to go up against. The fucking Celtics. 5 Hall of Famers. The Celtics had Robert Parrish, Hall of Fame center who was younger than Kareem. Kevin McHale, Hall of Fame power forward that could do everything James Worthy can do. Larry Bird, Hall of Fame small forward that could do everything Magic can do. Dennis Johnson, Hall of Fame point guard. You had Hall of Fame center coming off the bench, Bill Walton. You had Cedric Cornbread Maxwell, who's not going to make the Hall of Fame, but he's somebody who, in the early to mid 80s, Cedric Cornbread Maxwell was one of the absolute best players in basketball. Okay, now that that's over with, the Detroit Pistons. You got Isaiah Thomas, who kicked Michael Jordan's ass 3 years in a row. Isaiah Thomas, Hall of Fame. Joe Dumars, Hall of Fame. Bill Laimbeer, Hall of Fame. Dennis Rodman, Hall of Fame. Now, Dennis Rodman was coming into his own, but he was still there. The Showtime Lakers had to face up-and-coming Jazz squad. They had to face an up-and-coming Houston Rockets squad when the Rockets lose Moses Malone and get Ralph Sampson and Hakeem Olajuwon. People act like, see, at that time, Kareem is 34, 35 years old. Back then, players retired at 31, 32. 70s and 80s, go look it up. Players were, by the time they were 32, 33, they were for the most part done. That's boxers, that's NFL players. Players didn't really, like the players' prime back then was between the age of 27 and 30. And by the time they were 33, they were done. And Kareem had to play against, after Moses Malone leaves, they get Ralph Sampson and Hakeem Olajuwon. Yeah, Vinny the Microwave Johnson coming off the bench. So yeah, Magic had a dope team. Look at who Magic played against. You look at Jordan, talk about 6-0 in finals. Of course Jordan's 6-0 in the finals. Name one team he played against that was just as good as his team. Not better. I mean, let's say equally as good as his team. Name one team Jordan played against that he played against his equal. Lakers. No more Kareem. Shouldn't even have made the finals. James Worthy gets hurt in game 1. But let's say James Worthy does play. The Lakers have Vlade Divac as the fucking center. That Bulls team was way better than the fucking Lakers. They were better than the Portland Trailblazers. The Portland Trailblazers' second best player was Terry Porter. The Bulls' second best player was Scottie Pippen. Not the Suns. Their best player was Barkley. Their second player was KJ. And one thing about KJ, he was very inconsistent. That was Kevin Johnson's biggest flaw. At his best, he was better than anybody at point guard. But you weren't going to get Kevin Johnson at his best 3 games in a row. That wasn't going to happen. Seattle, you have one Hall of Famer, and I think Shawn Kemp should be a Hall of Famer. I really do think Shawn Kemp should be in the Hall of Fame. So you have one certified Hall of Famer in Gary Payton, technically 2, but your team has 3 certified Hall of Famers. Of course you're supposed to win. Utah has 2 certified Hall of Famers. You have 3 certified Hall of Famers. And not just the Hall of Famers. Let's look at the role players. Ron Harper. Ron Harper was one of the best players in the league before he fucked his knee up when he was with Cleveland. Ron Harper left the Bulls and continued to win 2 more championships with the Lakers. Okay, you had Steve Kerr, one of the greatest open shooters of all time, coming out the bench. Steve Kerr leaves the Bulls. He goes to the San Antonio Spurs and continues to win championships. See, people forget, like, a lot of the people, Jordan's teammates, left and continued to win. Horace Grant left and was right back in the finals the following year with Orlando. Went right back and won a championship with the Lakers in 2001. Now, Ron Harper's not Hall of Fame. So, Jordan didn't play any team that was a threat. See, Larry Bird is equally as great as Magic. Isaiah Thomas at his best was equally as great as Magic and Jordan. That's why he beat Jordan 3 times. And people who push the Jordan narrative, they'll say, "Oh, Isaiah Thomas just beat Jordan because the Bulls weren't ready. The Bulls, the team wasn't good enough." Yeah. Well, the Utah Jazz didn't beat the Bulls because their team wasn't good enough. The one thing the Utah Jazz was missing was a wing player that can get their own shot. Stockton didn't. He could get his own shot, but he very rarely took it. Malone was a choker. Malone would choke. If Utah had a wing player that can get his own shot, if Utah has, say, Grant Hill, if the 97 Jazz has 97 Grant Hill, the 97 Jazz beat the Chicago Bulls. That's just a fact. I will go so far as to say if the Jazz had somebody on the perimeter as good as Steve Smith, they probably win that championship. You ain't even got to go Grant Hill. You can go one level below Grant Hill and say a Steve Smith, say somebody like a 1997 version of Isaiah Ryder, the Isaiah Ryder that can get his own shot, that 97 version of Isaiah Ryder. If you get that 97 version, if you get who else was another? Steve Smith, Isaiah Ryder. Ray Allen was too young at that time. Iverson probably still wouldn't work. Mitch Richmond, thank you, Rashad. If the Utah Jazz in 97, if they get 1997 Mitch Richmond, there's no, they probably, now they can go 1-1, but it wouldn't be no 2-0 if the Utah Jazz have Mitch Richmond. If Reggie Miller had a teammate as good as 1997 Mitch Richmond, if Patrick Ewing had a teammate as good as 1997 Mitch Richmond, we're talking different stories. If the 93 Suns had 93 Mitch Richmond, we're talking about a completely different outcome. Elisino, I'm with you. Fuck Utah. Fuck, and they pick and roll. I'm with you. But I'm just talking turkey, my brother. Yeah, pre-elbow surgery, Glenn Rice. Glenn Rice was never the same after that elbow surgery he had in 99. But if you get pre-99 pre-elbow surgery, Glenn Rice, on Utah, that can get his own shot, it's a different outcome. Rashad said a healthy set is about us. I'm not going to argue that. Hell, if you put Eddie Jones, 97 Eddie Jones on that Utah team, it's probably a different outcome. 98 Eddie Jones on the Utah Jazz. Utah was just missing a wing player that can get his own shot. They were just missing a wing that can get his own shot. And it's a handful of wings you can put in that position. This was right before the Paul Pierce, Vince Carter, T-Mac, Kobe class was ready. They were still a little bit too young at this point. Oh, yeah, Glenn Big Dog Robinson. I just don't know how Glenn Robinson and Karl Malone, they occupy the same space on the court. That wouldn't be enough floor spacing. I don't think Karl Malone and Big Dog could work together. Oh, hell yeah. Latrell Sprewell. Take Latrell Sprewell or Allen Houston. Either one. 97 Sprewell, 97 Allen Houston. Put them on Utah. It's probably a different outcome. Either Allen Houston or Latrell Sprewell. Pick one. Either one of them, and you put them on that 97 or 98 Utah Jazz team, it's probably a different outcome. Yeah, Neek. What if Dominique Wilkins gets a co-star as good as Scottie Pippen and a coach as good as Phil Jackson? You give Dominique Wilkins the 91 Bulls against that same Laker team. You take that same Bulls team, because remember, it's not like the Bulls just took out the Pistons. The Pistons aged out. The Pistons, before they even won them two championships, they lost in the finals against the Lakers. They lost to Boston the year before. The Pistons were around were around. They just aged out. You put Dominique Wilkins on the 91 Bulls against that same Laker team, you probably get the same outcome. Against the Houston Rockets, against the hell, what if Clyde Drexler had a low post presence? What if Clyde Drexler had Malone in Portland in 91, in 92? Think about that. Think about 92 Malone on the 92 Blazers with Terry Porter and Clyde Drexler. Might have a completely different outcome. Yeah, Nick could have been a Laker, but the Lakers chose James Worthy over Dominique. And I always wonder what would have happened had they chose Dominique Wilkins. Because Dominique Wilkins was a better overall player than James Worthy, but James Worthy fit the role for the Lakers probably better than Nick would have fit them. Good one, Rashad. What if the Blazers had a healthy Sabonis? Because they had drafted Sabonis, but Sabonis was in Europe at that time. Yeah, Jordan ate up Drexler. Drexler had nobody as good as Pippen because Pippen was the one guarding Drexler. When the game got on the line, it was Pippen guarding Drexler. Jordan had the ability. See what Jordan could do. Jordan could afford to go to the bench and the lead stay the same when he come back in the game. When Ewing went to the bench, the Knicks would go from up 4 to down 6. When Reggie Miller would go to the bench, the Patriots would go from up 7 to only up 1. When Michael Jordan went to the bench, the Bulls would go from up 6 to up 8. He had a deeper team. And this isn't to minimize Jordan's greatness. It's not. But it is to show that Jordan's greatness was a greatness for the era, and he was great at what he did. But his greatness was just as great as Kareem's greatness at center. Jordan's greatness at shooting guard was equally as great as Magic's greatness at point guard. And that's the hard truth that people don't want to acknowledge. Jordan was as great of a shooting guard as Magic Johnson was of a point guard. Magic, if Magic didn't have to play against the likes of Larry Bird and the 83 Sixers, Magic would have retired with 8 or 9 championships. Look at Kobe. You take Kobe or Duncan. If Kobe's not in Duncan's way, Duncan probably has eight or 9 rings. If Duncan's not in Kobe's way, Kobe probably has 8 or 9 rings. Think about that. Well, he would have 7 because Kobe was kicking Duncan's ass. But 99, 2000, Kobe would have at least 2 more rings if he didn't have to go against some fucking Tim Duncan. Think about that. Kobe and Duncan X'd one another out of at least 2 championships. The Jordan narrative will be over. If you get Kobe out of Duncan's way, Duncan easily has 7 championships. You get Duncan out of Kobe's way, Kobe has 7 championships. Because the championship back then was in the West. If Karl Malone doesn't hurt his knee, the Lakers beat the Pistons. But the Lakers had some ego issues and internal issues that they were more focused on fighting each other than they were the Detroit Pistons. No, Jordan was not the best player in the league his rookie year. No, the fuck he wasn't. He was a great rookie. Jordan couldn't hold 2 candles of Magic Johnson in 1984. Stop it. Jordan wasn't even better than Isaiah Thomas in the 80s. Stop it. Isaiah Thomas is fucking great. Isaiah Thomas, what he did at his size. What Isaiah Thomas did at 6'2", winning 2 championships in the era of Bird and Magic and Jordan. And people don't even want, you want to call Jordan the GOAT and you can't talk, you act like Isaiah Thomas didn't exist? What? I agree with that, Manosphere Hall of Fame. Who said Kobe eventually threw the series so O'Neal couldn't get another ring? Man, that's cap. Kobe didn't throw no series. Who said that? I never heard that one. That's a cap. Kobe didn't throw no damn series against Detroit. Detroit had a 5-headed monster that season. The chemistry just came together. Rasheed Wallace, Ben Wallace, Tayshaun Prince in the front court. That's a long fucking front court. They were literally built to defend the Lakers. Rip Hamilton, Chauncey Billups, that team was long. Had great chemistry. Everybody, going back to what we were talking about. See, people, what they'll do is you don't get the, see, the 2004 Pistons was a 5-headed monster. And they were a testament to each player understanding their role. Real talk, Kenny Red, don't sleep on the Bucks in the 80s. I'm not sleeping on them, brother. Paul Pierce, I'm not Paul Pierce, Ricky Pierce and Sidney Moncrief, nigga, what? I said Paul Pierce. What you talking about, Ricky Pierce and Sidney Moncrief, nigga? Come on now. They swept the Bulls 2 years in a row. Isaiah Thomas not being on the Dream Team was a Nike decision. Go back and look at some of my videos. Look, when it comes to NBA marketing and who used the greatest and who makes the Olympic team and all that, that's all Nike shit. Nike was pumping Michael Jordan. That was Michael Jordan's big international unveiling, was the 92 Olympics. They had to bring Magic around to show you the past. Magic and Bird to show the past, present, and future. This is still the United States. Christian Laettner made it over Shaq because he's white. Stockton made it over Zeke because he's white. And because at the end of the day, the NBA uses the Olympics to market. And Isaiah Thomas was the dark horse. He was the black sheep. Detroit's a really black city. The league don't like when Detroit wins. Yeah, Barkley, Pippen, Robinson, Stockton, Nike, yeah. You notice this past Olympics 2024? Ask yourself, where did this Olympic MVP award come from? There was no Olympic MVP in the 2020, 2016, 2012, 2008, 2004, 2096, 92, 88, 84 Olympics. Where did this come from? And why is it Steph Curry and that amazing performance he put on not once but twice was the reason why the United States won the gold medal? Without Steph Curry turning into Superman the last 5 minutes of those games, the United States is playing for the bronze game. And they sit Tyrese Halliburton down on the bench. They sit Edwards on the bench and play LeBron with great chin hairs almost the whole game and basically force feed him that award. That's Nike. Nike is why Kyrie Irving and Jaylen Brown didn't get on the Olympic team. How the fuck don't you put Kyrie and Jaylen Brown? Jaylen Brown just won Finals MVP. And he don't make the Olympic team, but the motherfucker coming off the bench for him does? Nike. Because Jaylen Brown chose not to re-sign with Nike. Nike kicked Kyrie Irving off. Remember after he said that shit after he posted that video? And replaced his shoe with Ja Morant. Nike shapes your basketball opinion. Nike is the reason why we had these stupid ass GOAT debates. And Nike is the reason why we over here running around minimizing greatness. Because, yeah, what are they saying? You may be saying, oh, Dwyane. Well, Kobe's a Nike player too. Why would Nike minimize Kobe? Because guess what? The whole point is to increase engagement. And Nike understands how much people love Kobe. So let's do what the Bible does. Let's do what all spiritual texts do. All comic books, all action hero films. You create a devil. You cannot have a Jesus without a devil. You cannot have the light without the dark. You create enemies even where enemies don't exist in order to tell a greater story. And the greater story is whether you choose Kobe or Jordan, whether you choose Jordan or LeBron, whether you choose Kobe or LeBron, Nike wins. Nike can shit on Kobe all day because it's better that Nike shits on Kobe than gives slight mention to James Harden because he's not Nike. It's best that Nike talks about Jordan all day and not give mention to Isaiah Thomas. He's not Nike. Kareem's not Nike. Magic's not Nike. You got to be part of Nike to be the GOAT debate. Because Nike created the GOAT debate. And I'm not tripping. I love Nike. Nike's my favorite shoes to wear. They fit my feet great. All these hoes is white supremacists. Nike, Adidas clothed the Nazis. So all these hoes is white supremacists. So I'm not here to tell you guys to protest or any of that shit. 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other. But it's all a ploy because whether you're talking about Kobe or Jordan or LeBron, you're talking about Nike. And we allow Nike to have us shit on our all-time greats. Yeah, I love Nike. Look, most of my shoes is Nikes. I love wearing Kobe's because Kobe's is comfortable as fuck. I got a bunch of Jordans, but some of the most comfortable shoes you're gonna find is some Kobe's. I got my green Grinchmases, yeah. No low top singers are not the cause of the injuries. Achilles pop whenever they pop. It's not because of. I've been seeing that debate That's a good question, Slim Slammer. I've been seeing that debate go around. Look, man, Dominique Wilkins tore his Achilles in a pair of high-top Reebok pumps, right? It happens. But it's best to... I remember when I had... See, I'm kind of versed in this because I gave 2 knees to sports. I gave 1 knee to football. I gave another knee to basketball when it came to surgeries. And I remember talking to my physical therapist one day when I was in my knee, after my knee surgery. I was in physical therapy. And this is when the low top shoes were really starting to get popular in the 2000s. And I was like, I said, isn't that? I said, because I'm used to wearing quarter tops when I hooped back then. I was wearing quarter tops. And you know what my physical therapist said? The reason why you're going low top, one, they figured out they engineered a lot of the shoes to have a wide front so you don't roll your ankle. But when you have a leg injury, the ankle is the first point of contact, first joint. If you tighten the ankle up, that pressure is just going to go to the knee. And either you're going to hurt your ankle or you're going to hurt your knee. It's easier for physical therapists in surgery to help you recover from an ankle than it is a knee. So when you get hurt, something's going to get hurt. Do you want your ankle to get hurt or do you want your knee to get hurt? You probably rather your ankle be hurt than your knee. You know what else? You know what else? If you notice, since the low tops have been around, how often have you seen microfracture surgeries? Microfracture ended Penny's career. Microfracture ended Chris Webb's prime a little bit too soon, Chris Webber. The microfracture took Chris Webber out. The microfracture stunted Amari Stoudemire's growth. The microfracture took Jason Kidd out in his prime. Jason Kidd was the first player to successfully recover from a microfracture. You see a lot less ACL, MCL, meniscus, patella tendon injuries since players have been wearing low-top shoes. Pay attention. ACL, meniscus, these were more common injuries in the high-top era. The microfracture, Amari Stoudemire had 2, Jason Kidd had 1. The microfracture took out a lot of careers. You don't see microfracture anymore. I respect your stance, Engine Radio. I respect it. Penny Hardaway, yeah. Penny Hardaway microfracture. See, the low top shoes started to come around right when I had my surgery. So, like, I wasn't really hooping anymore when the low top thing. Kobe is responsible for the low top phenomenon. That's actually a Kobe thing. That's where Kobe don't get credit. Kobe's responsible for the low top craze. And he said it because he's a soccer fan. And Kobe said it when he did it. He said, look, soccer players wear low top shoes all the time and they don't have ankle injuries. And Kobe's right. Yeah, DeJuan Blair, yep. Ice baths really became a thing in the 90s and really the 2000s and 90s. I remember when I had before I had my second knee surgery, my knee was torn for like 5 years. I tore probably longer than that. I tore my knee in like 2005, 2004. I still played basketball on it until like 2008. I played on a torn knee for like 4 years. No, I tore like around '05. And I played to like '08. And I couldn't play anymore. I didn't have my surgery until 2011. So I walked around on a torn knee for 6 years. Because when I went to finally get surgery, my insurance dropped me. This is before Obamacare. Tore it in '05. '06, I went to go get some surgery on my knee. Couldn't get surgery because my insurance dropped me. They could drop you for anything back then, before Obamacare. So I walked around on a torn knee for like 6 years. And during that time was when the low top craze started, the low top phenomenon. So after I had my knee surgery, I tried to play a couple times, and I remember one time, like 2015 was like the last time I tried to play. I remember it was like me. It was crazy. It's crazy looking back. I'm gonna see if I can find that picture. But it was like me. Y'all know Brent Taylor from All Def? Me. Brent Taylor was what I organized it. Kamira would be on the sideline talking shit. Teddy Ray would be on the sideline. Teddy Ray didn't hoop with us. He'd be on the sideline. Craig, Larry, me. We was all hooping together. A bunch of comics. And Teddy becoming, I'm fat. Teddy fat. Like, Teddy, man, get on the court. No, D, I don't play. Teddy's talking all kind of shit. Dwyane, you know you can't play basketball. You need to be sitting over here with me and Kamira. I'll be like, man, Teddy, if you don't shut your ass up, let me show you how a real fat nigga get down. We was balling. I'm gonna see if I can find that picture we all took. It's a whole bunch of comics y'all love today that we were all just hooping. But after that, I felt my knee get tight, and I felt my Achilles get tight. That's what it was. I felt my Achilles get tight. And Kobe had just tore his Achilles like the year before that. I was like, hell nah. And it ended up being the last time I really hooped. You said you wear your knee sleeve though. Be smart, always growing. Yeah, man. But again, back to what we're talking about, man. They use this stuff to play us against each other, y'all. They use this stuff to play us against each other. And we have this culture of tearing each other down, our greats, and not remembering our greats. Universal Basic Income says, when Bud Carver beats Canelo, will the Black and Brown Coalition disband finally? That whole fight is stupid. Canelo versus Crawford. I'm not a big fan of neither of Canelo and Crawford for the same reason. They both cherry picked their way through their career. Now I do give Crawford credit for beating Errol Spence and Sean Porter, but they're both cherry pickers, and Canelo's a bigger punk because Crawford is going up 3 weight classes. Boxing is becoming a joke. Like, the biggest fights are fucking Jake Paul fights and exhibitions. You got fighters that are active fighters. Canelo's trying to fight Jake Paul. It's like you have active fighters taking celebrity boxing matches. You got Canelo, who, instead of fighting Arthur Beterbiev. Instead of fighting Demetrius Andrade, instead of fighting David Benavidez, all these great fighters that are in his weight class, he fights the smaller Charlo brother who fucking was out of boxing for 2 years because he's fucking going mentally insane right now. And then you fight a nobody, another nobody, and then you have Crawford come up 3 weight classes to fight. It's all a fucking joke, man. You right, media don't compare white country. Well, any white artist, they don't compare them. They don't. You never hear them compare Madonna to Cher. As close, Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera were both Madonna knockoffs. They never compared Britney Spears to Madonna. Taylor Swift, another singer in the Madonna pop artist mold. Taylor Swift never got compared to Jessica Simpson. Taylor Swift didn't get compared to Miley Cyrus. Taylor Swift doesn't get compared to goddamn Cher or none of them. Barbara Streisand. Y'all notice that? Salute to South Africa. Hey, look, Rocky done scratching his dick. Rocky finished. He finished scratching his nuts. Rocky like, that's how Rocky sleep after a long day of scratching his nuts. After a long day of scratching his nuts, Rocky goes to sleep. Yeah. Hell yeah, Taylor Swift is overrated. Ashley Simpson was a much better singer. But they're not going to compare the two. NSYNC never got compared to New Kids on the Block. Pay attention. It's only us. Pay attention. Yeah, you see, notice how players like SJ and Ludor represent our countries hard after winning a chip? Yeah. Well, the Greek Freak did the same thing. What's his name? Giannis. Yeah, they're always their own country, you know? Hakeem didn't do that. Hell, Dirt and Whiskey didn't even do that. That's what it is. And that's why those of us that are quote unquote FBA or ADOS, whatever you call yourself, y'all know me, I don't get into the argument. Native Black American. That's why we can't be ashamed. We can't be apologetic about ripping the United States of America because we built this place, for better or for worse. If they got to rep a place that was so great that they left, then who are we to feel guilty for repping the place that we stay at? And it's not xenophobic, but let me tell you right now, anybody who sees that as xenophobic while still living here in the United States, I can promise you that's their problem, not yours. No, it's not a no. Always growing. It's not a result of the delineation movement. The delineation movement was born out of this kind of behavior. We saw in the 2016 when Jamaica won, and when Usain Bolt and Jamaica won in the Olympics. We're like, cool, Jamaica won. We're looking at Nigerians all on, I mean, the Jamaicans all on Twitter. Yeah, we're better than Black Americans. That all of a sudden Jamaica's national team winning came into a diaspora war that Jamaicans started against us. We noticed everybody else. We saw people on Twitter during the 2016 Olympics, Africans say that usually I don't fuck with the Caribbeans, but if it's against Black Americans, I'll unite with a Caribbean before a Black American. The delineation movement is a response to what you see people like SGA doing. It's a response. Because he said now Jamaica's riding over chicken. It's a response. And I like the delineation movement. And bigger than that, everybody listening to me within the sound of my voice, you need to delineate too your inner circle. You should be delineating between people who are around you that are constructive versus those who are around you who are not constructive. And you should delineate from former friends, family. If these people are detrimental to your greater good, you need to be delineating yourself from them. Whether it be your brother, your auntie, your mama, your cousin, your former best friend, if they are pulling back your progress, you need to delineate. If they are undermining your greater goals, you need to delineate. Of course it's hard, but you got to ask yourself, what's harder? Somebody poking a hole in your boat, dropping the anchor when you try to move forward, or getting rid of that anchor that's in your way of moving forward? That's where self-love comes in, and a certain level of love for oneself. Do you love yourself enough to rid yourself of anybody that's slowing down your progress? That's a self-love question, a self-worth question. Are you worth it? That's real talk. I'm not lying in the video. They praised SGA for what they hate on Harden for, right? Same thing with Luka. They praised Luka for what they hate on Harden for. They hated on Harden for always. They changed the rules to stop Harden from getting to the free throw line. Just for SGA to get to the free throw line anytime he wants and no one say a word. It's all about hating on Black Americans. See, the media is all about shitting on what Black Americans do great. When James Harden was dribble, 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 draw a step back, draw a foul, it was a problem. When Luka dribble, 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 step back, draw a foul, oh, he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. When James Harden goes to the basket looking for contact to get to the line, in 2019, the NBA says stop making. See, James Harden never stopped being great at what he did. The NBA changed the rules. They said stop allowing that, and they changed how they call fouls. The problem is they enforced the changes on James Harden, not on Luka Doncic. And now that SGA is coming up, another non-Black American, they act as if they didn't change the rules back in 2019 to stop the players from getting those easy fouls. And in another way, they hate on Kobe in the way They minimize Kobe. They minimize Kobe through comparing him to SGA. Kobe and SGA's game are nothing alike. Now they both fundamentally sound? Yes. But SGA plays like a post torn Achilles Kobe. He don't play nothing like number 8. He ain't got none of number 8's game. And he don't have the smoothness to it. It's SGA has his own game. Is his fundamentally sound parts of his game reminiscent of Kobe? Yes. But that's where the comparisons stop. Yeah, Kobe had much more explosiveness and power in his game than SGA. Much more dynamic. Man, I love this. It's on Spotify. I love this image they have of Earth and Fire up here, man. Because when I look at this image, this looks like 1974. The band is just really finding his voice at that time. This is Young Fred's first album with the Open Our Eyes album. This looks like Open Our Eyes. Caribou Ranch. But look at how proud Charles Stepney looks. Earth and Fire had a few albums before he came, but they couldn't quite figure out the sound. They couldn't quite figure out what direction the band was going until they brought in Charles Stepney from Chicago. He looked so proud. Who knew he'd be dead 2 years after this, man? But he didn't. Charles Stepney was dead by the time this album came out. All in all. Oh, as a matter of fact, y'all, this is a big album to start the summer off. All in all, listen to the album top to bottom. Maurice White looking like the confident band leader. Look at Larry Dunn next to him. Larry Dunn don't know that Maurice White is about to fuck you out of some royalties, homeboy. That's why I love Maurice White, but he fucked over Larry Dunn. That's Larry Dunn right there with the afro to the left. He fucked Larry. He should have been producer on a lot more songs than he got credited for producer for. Because it really is Larry Dunn's chord structure that brought this band in together. Damn, TV went dark. I love Earth and Fire. But listen to All in All top to bottom. It's the best album to start the summer off with. When the summer solstice hit on the 21st, this past Friday, I think I talked to y'all earlier that day. But nigga, that night, I went on a mushroom trip. Oh my God, this mushroom trip I had this past Friday night, woo! Nigga, I played Earth and Fire's All in All album all the way through. Nigga, talk about my spirit getting lifted. Woof. Yeah. That's real talk. Always growing. Earth and Fire, Stevie Wonder, Isley Brothers, Frankie Beverly. That's the high frequency gospel mix. You hit on everybody you just said. You hit 100% on. I challenge people, man. Go to my Patreon. I got a lot of uplifting music on Patreon. But I am not challenge. I implore. Give yourself 30 minutes. Mix in some Stevie, Isley Brothers, Earth and Fire, Frankie Beverly and Mays. Throw some Michael Jackson in there. Just listen to them. Don't listen to and just tune out from the world's problems. Listen to that, mix and breathe. You will feel like $1,000,000. Yeah, Brazilian rhyme, they did do samba better than Brazilians, right? Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. What y'all know about the Crusaders? Joe Sample. And Reaching Down Inside, yeah, that's a great song. Happiness by Frankie Beverly and Mays. Woman is a Wonder. I mean, all that. Greatest Inspiration. I Want to Thank You. Matter of fact, that's probably on list to it and over. Whoa, 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 whoa. Some of the greatest moments of my life is listening to Frankie Beverly and Mays live sing I Want to Thank You. My last 2 times seeing Frankie Beverly and Mays was 2019. I saw him 2 months in a row. I saw him at the Greek Theater, and then he came out and closed out the Gardena Jazz Festival. And he ended that show with I Want to Thank You. Because you've been so good. What, man, shit. While I'm Alone. Family, hell yeah. Family. See, the thing about Frankie Beverly Mays, I love the shit that hit the radio, Golden Time of Day, you know, all that good stuff, you know, Joy and Pain. 100% of what Frankie did was the real thing, you know. But it's a lot of the stuff that didn't hit the radio, man. The less popular stuff, you know. I like Before I Let Go. But I'm gonna listen to Southern Girl before I listen to Before I Let Go. Silky Silky Soul Singer. That was a letter to Marvin Gaye. Do y'all know that? Silky Silky Soul Singer was about Marvin Gaye. Because Marvin Gaye helped discover Frankie Beverly and Mays in Oakland. And he's the one that implored them to change their name from Raw Soul to find the new name. I heard that story directly from Sam Watson. Press number 1 if you know who Sam Watson is. Back in stride again, yeah. Press number 1 if you know who Sam Watson is. Uncle Sam. Yeah. He said B-side. He said your piece called you the B-side king. That's funny. Y'all knows Sam Watson. He's the one. If you ever watch a boxing match, he's always the one that's standing behind Floyd Mayweather. He's always standing behind one of the fighters. Sam Watson is Al Heyman's front man. He's Al Heyman's face. You never see Al Heyman, but you always see Sam Watson. Al Heyman was managing, and he was working with Marvin Gaye at the time, and Sam was working with Al Heyman back then. And Sam told me some of them stories about Marvin Gaye and Frankie Beverly and Mays. Always going. Of course, 80s R&B is better than 90s, but 70s the best. 70s is the zenith of R&B. 70s is the zenith. That was when it stopped growing. In the 80s was when the record industry started to really sabotage R&B. R&B really got sabotaged in the 80s, but it was still really good. The 90s is when you saw the effects of the sabotage in the 80s. The 90s is when you felt the effects. Yeah, he's a boxing guy. And I haven't seen Sam yet. I haven't seen Sam in a couple. I haven't seen Sam all year. Usually I would have seen Sam at least a handful of times by now. I haven't seen Sam since late last year. Sam is the only person that calls me Little. He called me Little Red. Cause Sam Watson, he grew up in elementary school with my dad. This is my dad back here. This is my mommy and my dad. And me, that's me, my sister, my brother, my mom, and my dad. But Sam and my dad went to school together, and they grew up together. So Sam still called me Little Red. They call my dad Red. Hey, Little Red. I'm like, what up, Sam? I love this song by Roy Ayers, This Side of Sunshine. This is a great fucking song right here. All right, so you got the balloon release for Frankie. That's what's up. I'm like Rocky, knock the fuck out. This is what happens when you. This what happens when you done scratching your nuts all day. You see how Rocky, he don't ever like lay on his blanket. He likes to have his foot. He likes to have his foot on his blanket. This nigga is knocked the fuck out. Rocky ain't giving a fuck about nothing in the world right now. That nigga sleep like he play bills around here. Rocky scratches nuts and sleep like he the one paying the bills. Ain't that a bitch? And I'm cleaning his shit up. Scratches nuts on my couch. Sleep like he paying bills. And I gotta pick his shit up. Yeah, man. Yeah, unreal. Yeah, this is Rocky House. So, but that goes in. Like, I'm not gonna have y'all all night. But that was just it. Like, we gotta understand. Like, our greats have different areas of greatness, and the best work comes when greatness teams with greatness. Like what made Sheik pop off. That's Bernard Edwards. It's crazy that I have a picture of Nile Rodgers up here, but it was a combination of Bernard Edwards on bass and Nile Rodgers that made Sheik the greatest that they were. You know? Jordan gets to be great and win 6 championships because he has an equally great rebounder defender on his team. He has an equally great defender and table setter, somebody that sets up the offense as a Scottie Pippen on his team. He has equally great shooters, John Paxson, Steve Kerr, B.J. Armstrong, Greg Hodges. When you throw them the ball, they're going to make the shot. Now, they may not be able to do other things good on the court. They may not be the best at driving to the basket. They may not be the best post players, but one thing they can do is hit open shots. And they're as good as hitting open shots as he is at creating space for them to hit open shots. The lesson is to appreciate all areas of greatness. Because you listen to me out there, everybody out there, you have a level of greatness. And 99% of you guys listening to me, your greatness isn't going to be in you being the Michael Jordan of your team. Your greatness lies outside of the spotlight. Sorry. But maybe if you can appreciate greatness overall and what it is, and somebody whose greatness may lay beyond the boundaries of the spotlight, you can then look inside and appreciate your greatness. Just because your greatness isn't in the spotlight, don't mean that it's any less great than the greatness that is in the spotlight. You got to ask yourself, what is the spotlight anyway? And who the fuck cares about a goddamn spotlight? All right. Kenny Ray. Yeah, some folks are Brian Shaw. But guess what? The Lakers don't win that. The Lakers do not beat the Portland Trailblazers in Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals in the year 2000 without Brian Shaw. As a matter of fact, Kenny Red, most people, 9 out of 10 are Brian Shaw. 9 out of 12 are Brian Shaw. 9 out of 11 are Brian Shaw. Yeah, beat Michael Buffer. Mike Tyson is the most famous boxer of all time, of our era. But shit, Michael Buffer's just as famous as Mike Tyson. Because you had to hear his name. Get ready to rumble. Michael Buffer is just as famous as Mike Tyson, and he didn't have to get knocked in his head one time. Think about that for a second. Same sport, same boxing ring, same network, same environment. In order for one to get famous, he got to get knocked upside his head. In order for the other one to get famous and rich, all he got to do is talk. And he don't even talk long. That nigga just, Michael Buffer's so cold, he don't even introduce the other fights. That nigga only introduced the main fight. It be 10 other fights that night. It's some other nigga out there introducing them. That white boy with the long ass dreads. That one white boy with the fake dreads, I forgot his name. They be having him up in there. Nigga, they wait till the TV lights is on, the camera's on, and all he do is say, let's get ready to rumble. And half the time when he say that, he getting paid more to say that than the boxer that's in the ring getting his head knocked upside his head. Think about that. Yeah, or his brother Bruce Buffer. Bruce Buffer is going inside that UFC ring. Bruce Buffer is as famous as any mixed martial artist on the planet. Because if you're into mixed martial arts and you watch MMA, you're gonna have to see Bruce Buffer. And all he do is make one. Oh, look at Rocky finally waking up. Stretching. You stretching, baby boy? You finally up? Watch, you about to go drink some water and then come right back down here and lay down. You good, Rocky? He come to shake. You good, Rocky? He about to go drink some water and go lay his ass right back down. But that's how life is. Bruce Buffer's in the same octagon on the same event, and he's making more money than most of all those fighters. Maybe the headline fighter is getting more money than Bruce Buffer on that event. The rest of them fighters ain't getting paid what Bruce Buffer's getting paid. So the thing is, you choose your experience. You stick to your greatness. What if your greatness is being Bruce Buffer, but you're trying to be an MMA fighter and you getting your ass beat? And you wondering why now you hate yourself because every time you step in the octagon, somebody whooping your ass. Well, nigga, it wasn't your greatness to be in the octagon getting your ass whooped. Maybe your greatness was to be the one announcing the person that's about to get their ass whooped. Maybe your greatness is being the referee. Maybe your greatness is being the promoter. You know you're attracted to boxing, but you don't have to box to be attracted to be involved in boxing. You can be a promoter. You can be you could be a judge. You could be a referee. You could be a cut man. You could just fix the cuts. You can be a manager of a fighter. You can be a ring card girl if you're a girl, woman. It's a lot of things you can be and still be connected to the sport, but it comes down to being clear and appreciating your greatness. Because once you understand where your greatness is, you then know where you can plug it in different areas. That's the point of tonight's show. They got us arguing when the whole point really should be to look at everybody's greatness. See, look, I can look at LeBron's greatness and see where it lies. Only issue is when I talk about it, all of his dick riding ass fanboys with goddamn nut on the side of their lips gonna argue. LeBron is one of the greatest table setters we've ever seen. He can get you through a game. He can get you through a season. His greatness does not lie in making the right decision at the most crucial times in games. It just doesn't. And that's okay. That's why he was smart enough to get with players who could. Kyrie Irving, he can't get you through a season and through games. His body is fragile. His body generally breaks down and he wears out. But what Kyrie Irving can do is once the game is within grasp, he can close that motherfucker out. He can give you a championship. He can finish some shit. The whole point is identifying which does what and matching them together. This nigga said they love getting money shots. For sure, always growing. I'm about to get up out of here anyway. It's past midnight. I'm about to listen to some music and smoke the rest of this. I saved the rest of this to smoke by myself without talking to y'all. So let's just, appreciate your greatness. Come and get a personal report from me on my website. My reports, give me a birthday, go to breakthroughcards.com. Then go a long way in helping you find where your greatness is. Get a reading. Find your greatness and love on yourself. All right? Hit the like button. Make sure everybody's in here right now. When I sign off, make sure y'all leave a comment after the video. Yeah, do a reading because reading's going to get you right there on point. That's why I picked up readings. And if you don't, if readings spook you out, I also wrote a book on how to find your gifts. So I can give it to you the old school way. I wrote an e-reader. It's only like $8. It's a small little e-reader. You could do it that way if you want. If card reading spooks you out, I have a more formal, traditional approach that can help you find your gifts. If you open the card readings and then you open to that world, I can give it to you that way too. All right? Email me either way it goes. info@dwyneb.com if you're interested. All right? I'll holler at y'all tomorrow. Y'all have a good one.